Man, that took a while for it to actually go live. Welcome to Workhorse Wrestling Network. We are here for the Cookout podcast. We're having some problems today.
But we will get through them.
It's gonna be okay. So ALW is gonna take a minute. He's working on some technical issues. We're gonna start off our discussion today with MJF versus Roman, which is gonna be a doozy. I can be persuaded.
Will it though? Will it?
It could be. Okay, so we're not saying they're gonna get a match because we don't know, but we are comparing who we think is better.
Yes.
So
since the similarities will come in hand, possibly all of next year, and if all goes according to plan, the year after that, the bidding war of 2024.
Which I see MJF going to WWE, but I don't see him facing Roman. I see him facing Cody.
Pause. You see MJF going to WWE?
I can see it.
You see Maxwell Jacob Freeman going to WWE?
I think he can go wherever he wants, and I think he'll be, for the most part, okay.
Okay, before I get into this, my dream is it's crazy. It's crazy. But I want him to pull a Brian Pillman. I want, so if we're gonna do the actual bidding war of 2024, I want him to have a year long no contract.
Pause.
I want him to go to.
He's not going to WWE. He'll stay in AEW or he'll go to Hollywood. He's not going to WWE because his act doesn't work in WWE.
I don't know. You see, y'all keep underestimating Triple H, Paul Levesque.
I believe he would not work in Vince's WWE. I definitely agree with that.
From what we've seen so far, and knowing that who pays the bills, and it ain't folks that are our age, it is literally little kids. They can't even have intergender wrestling, and they have some of the best women for that type of match. You really think they're gonna let MJF get up there and talk about people being skanks? I gotta wait a few more minutes before I say the W word. Married any of the stuff that he be saying. You really think they're gonna let the innuendos go? Are we really gonna let MJF go out there and just be like, here's what you like, the one word that you can't say, and just ship him off? And let's also be real. Do we really think Paul likes Cody that much?
Okay. So
I know Cody likes Paul. I don't know how Paul feels about Cody.
Paul is mad because Cody exposed him to be overrated, and quite frankly, what he said he was going to do with him, he's
Now, honestly, the whole war with the whole war of AEW and WWE, the reason why they have a sledgehammer and break the throne, because Vince McMahon has nothing symbolizing him. Like, he has if Vince had something to symbolize that they could break, they would break that. But he doesn't. So we have to go to the next best thing, which is a big behind throne and a big behind sledgehammer. Number one. Number two, we forget. Well, not forget. We were a generation that was saying "suck it," not knowing what we were saying, but we were saying it on the freaking.
These little kids cannot handle that. They cry if you if you say the wrong thing. If you don't kowtow to what they want, they cry. Do you really? Let's be real. Let's be real. And let's also be real about this. if MJF goes to WWE, realistically, besides Cody and maybe Seth, who else do we see him having like a decent feud, a decent match? He's a storytelling person. And until WWE gets their storytelling in a line and have it make sense and layers upon layers, that will work.
Hello?
Yes.
Hello.
We can hear you.
If your hat, if you didn't have that cowboy hat on,
Nope.
everything would work.
Agreed. Now, agreed.
We can hear you, but you can't hear us, can you? Nope.
Stay tuned. He will be back.
Technology is technology, y'all. But Sammy, what are your thoughts? Because we've been kind of dominating this a little bit.
Would Roman work in AEW?
He could, but he would have to be retooled. He could not do the lengths of time that he disappears. He couldn't do that in a, well, he could.
Yeah. I was just thinking because, like, they work once or twice a week.
Yeah. He would have to go back to that FCW Roman, that mob boss Roman.
You're not going to be on every week.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people to shuffle in and out, so. But you could pretty well guarantee having a spot at a pay-per-view, and there's only 4 of them to have to worry about, too.
But to hit on what you said, CM, you said he's more MJF's more a storyteller. I think WWE does storytelling better than AEW. I do.
What feud has gone on?
I'll give you short term.
That's the thing.
Okay,
short term. But MJF is not a short term storyteller. He's a long term storyteller. Let's look at the whole thing with CM Punk. That's been years. That's a Syndrome backstory. You got the Regal backstory. The fact that he almost word for word quoted a Daniel Bryan promo in which he called the fans fickle and described all the stuff. That is something that unless you pay attention, you wouldn't peep. However, they also made subtle references to it throughout that night. He does not work he doesn't work in WWE. The only one who's come close to him working in WWE has been The Miz. Even to a certain extent, Seth Rollins doesn't work because Seth Rollins will walk back the things he says on social media. MJF, with the exception of maybe 1 or 2 comments, ain't walking shit back.
But here's the thing. For me, I'm not a 100% fan of long-term story booking because when stuff pops off and you don't know how to deviate, stuff like the Brawlout Fallout happens, and we have 3 months of trying to rework stuff, and it still don't really work out. So I'm not 100% on long-term story booking. I just need 6 months, and in the 6 months time frame, I think WWE can give MJF what he needs. But I still want the year. I want the year of MJF to be a complete year of will he or won't he? Like Tony Khan. I know it's a big stretch, but if we're going to get this popping, we have to get it popping off right. No contract, a whole year. Let him go to any promotion with the belt he wants. I know it's a stretch, but I think that will make the year better. Because if he's on the contract with AEW, no offense, I'm going to not believe the whole bidding war thing. So I think that no contract for 2024. No contract.
Here's my thought.
Hold on. Real question. What is it that you own that you think that this man is going to trust a carny? Because let's be real, MJF is a professional wrestler. He's a carny. In what world are we going to trust a carny to do whatever it is that he's going to do? Like being real. Also, bruh, Roman, trash. Roman trash.
Who said Roman's trash?
ALW. He on that Tony Khan stuff. Sammy, I can't deal with
The
these
thoughts
people.
and views of ALW we are not down with, please.
Well,
Be
hold up. We can't
It-
speak for Sammy. We can't speak for Sammy.
We can't.
I think if we are talking about who of the two of them is a better wrestler, I'm going to go with MJF. If we're going into who of the two had a better year this year, I'm going with Roman.
I don't know because MJF is really good in the ring, but they both have like this potential they don't fully tap into. Like you have like Roman tapped into it a little bit with Jay. Like you had him push.
But that was last year.
Yeah, but I can't just say this year. But you had him pushed and stretched to a limit that he had to kind of try to elevate himself. MJF hasn't really like he tapped into that a little bit with the Cody thing, but that also was built on like a shot of brandy in all those episodes and like BTE skits. Like that's what I mean about the storytelling. MJF doesn't just work on TV. MJF has also been built up in like the backstory of AEW. I've been thinking about this all day, like who I would say is better. And because I know they have potential they haven't even touched, I don't know who is better. Storytelling, MJF is because he's able to do like a variety of stories and he doesn't need to be the focal point in all of them because at the end of the day he becomes the focal point when he does whatever he does. With Roman, a lot of his stories he has to be the focal point or else he kind of gets lost in the shuffle a little bit because he's pretty, but you know his personality can be kind of Wardlow-ish if you don't want.
I feel that.
But he's pretty, so you know we like even when he had little baby teeth, he was pretty. But like I don't like I've been literally thinking about this all day of who I could say is better, and I honestly think if both of them had to be in one company, they should both be in AEW. I think AEW could do them better than WWE. I no longer have faith in WWE. And it was a lifetime WWE mark.
I just remember this clip that I watched. Guy shouted out to Roman, "I loved you in Aquaman," and he replied, "It would have been more money if I was in it."
Wow.
I remember that. You hold on. Do you remember the one with like the video where the kid like was making a face at Roman and Roman like the whole time was acting scared? Like stuff like that. It's so cute. Like that's so cute. But MJF would never do that. He would of course, you know, flip off the kid and tell the kid to suck his dick. But like he can do that in AEW. But that's what I'm saying. If MJF were to go to WWE, he could not be MJF. He would be the kid getting pushed into the wall again.
It's
He needs that thing.
Like
it's such a weird thing with Roman because like I don't like Roman, but I love Joe. Like Joe is amazing. I love Joe. If he was Joe all the time, like I feel like he'd be the biggest babyface in the world. But Roman the character just
I don't see him being a babyface when he's himself. Like in the early bloodline, you could tell that was him being his like himself, being just like
right.
an asshole. He comes off like I'm prettier than you, so I'm better than you. You know what? Put him, MJF, and Wardlow in a faction, and I think it could be some of the most entertaining stuff around like any company. I'm trying to work on my profanity. It's gonna slip. It is what it is. I'm trying.
Yeah, 13 more minutes. 13 more minutes.
Oh no, I cuss when it hit 5 minutes. So yeah. Folks, if you are out here, let us know how you feel in the chat between Roman and MJF. Where would you want them to go if they both had to be in the same company? Who do you think is better? And it doesn't just have to be in ring wise. Make sure that you leave a comment and let us know that as well. I don't like this week picking stuff has been extremely hard. Down. But this Roman and MJF thing has been
because like we got to debating about it, and like you could go either way. Like
so I think right now for me it's Roman. And I'll tell you, I'll tell you this. I'll tell you why. Because I know it's a bit of months ago, but it still don't sit well with me. The whole Wardlow and MJF situation, where MJF just had to have his money to the point where you had to derail Wardlow, and Wardlow now is just like trying to stay above water while you're over here doing your whole thing. And if I had to compare it, let's go to Roman versus Roman and Sammy, where in a couple of months, if they pull the trigger and do Sammy versus Roman, that could actually be a banger. Like they could have enough people to actually make this WrestleMania Night 2 and have him get the belt off of Roman. I don't like MJF. I don't know him, but ego-wise, I don't see him doing that for someone else. So on that part, I'm not that enthusiastic about MJF being champ. I'm not. Like when SB3 was like, oh my God, he just shouted down all his opponents. You know what I heard? Oh, so he's going to beat Eddie Kingston. Oh, he's going to beat Daniel Bryan. Oh, he's going to beat Ricky Starks. And none of them are going to get over or higher than they need to be. That's what I heard when I heard MJF's promo. So that's why I'm like, you're going to have to show me. You're going to have to show me, because I don't have faith in MJF that these feuds are not going to get anyone else over except him.
I heard in that promo, I'm going to cheat to beat Ricky Starks, Dave Bryan, and Eddie Kingston. I think what might end up happening is Ricky Starks gets screwed, but he wins that Dynamite Diamond ring, and he ends up being the one to dethrone MJF after maybe June of next year. Also, Roman Reigns, yes, Roman only works in WWE. He does. However, if you let him be his FCW character, Leakey, where he had more than 3 moves of doom and no personality, it would work. Because in FCW, old boy had, I'm a mob boss type personality. Like, I'm here to take over. You get, like, the women love me because I'm beautiful, and the men want to be me because all the women love me, and I'm gonna beat your ass because I want.
I don't think it's gonna happen.
No personality. Come on, wise man.
To a certain extent, like Roman before this run, yeah, you can say no personality.
But. I'm just gonna say I don't think it's gonna happen. I think Roman's gonna go to Hollywood.
I think they're both gonna go to Hollywood. In which case, we have the question of who's gonna do better in movies, or actually, MJF could go to Broadway. MJF has a lot more opportunities than Roman does, to be honest.
Yeah. I see MJF having a WWE run. I just do. I think he's gonna have at least 3 years in the company.
I don't see it unless something changes and they actually put more of an emphasis on the people like his age. Because let's be real, who's being pushed that's under the age of 30 right now?
They're trying. The crowd is pissing me off nowadays, man. Because we're trying to give them these wrestling matches. We're trying to promote these people, and the people are not giving us nothing. And I want to be like, hey, bro. Here's the matches.
So you got one.
I'm a comedian. These are the jokes.
And they're not even pushing him right because when they had him on like a main event match, it was cricket. Couldn't even play up the fact that he was damn Scott Steiner's nephew. Like, come on, Scott Steiner. When you think of Scott Steiner, you think of Steiner Man. You think of how the fuck are you Cock Diesel and can fly like that? What are you, man?
It was going well, but him versus Joe Gacy just knocked him way off. Like that was not a good.
I remember this.
It wasn't a good rivalry, and then it lasted way too long.
In the words of Star Wars, these are not the drones you are looking for. I can't. I'm not. That does not. Joe Gacy to me.
In the future, when we look back on MJF's career, one thing I think we can all say is going to be that he got the bag.
Hell yeah.
Oh yeah.
Okay, whatever anybody wants to say, there's gonna be a bidding war because let's be quite honest.
Yeah.
The fact that there was a wrestling segment nominated for like major awards, pro wrestling.
A lot of people hated it. I really loved it.
I liked it. It was corny and it worked, but I'm also a musical person, so
right.
Yeah, I'm also a musical person.
We're all musical people. Like it was so well. It wasn't like here's the line of corny. Here's the line. It was like almost
Wrestling's
there,
always been a bit corny.
It was perfect.
It's meant to be corny and homoerotic. That's what it's meant for. It's not meant for much else. Okay?
It's the one place you can get away with being a little hokey.
Right?
Like, aside from that, you have music. Music's the only other thing you can get away with, like Weird Al. Weird Al can get away with being hokey.
What's homegirl's name that was on True Heat Saturday? What's her name? Something Star.
Oh yeah, Crystal.
Star. She said it perfectly. Professional wrestling is drag race for heterosexuals. I mean, I feel like.
I mean, it's also a little homoerotic.
A little in wrestling. Okay, let's be real. We cheered for a freaking vampire. Our favorite wrestler right now is probably a psychopath who, if he was in the real world, would be talking to stuffed bodies. So right now we're talking about Roman versus MJF, and it's venturing off a little bit into
what the hell's wrong with you, ALW?
ALW, this is why the good Lord did not want you on here tonight, because you are a hater, sir. I like Blue better than I like you right now. Fucking hating music. The fuck type of life are you living? Who doesn't want to sit down and watch a good musical like Rent? Or Little Shop of Horrors.
I just watched In the Heights, and oh my gosh, I want to see that on Broadway now.
Favorite song of all time?
Song, period, or musical
song? Whatever the first song that came to your mind, just say it.
La Vie Boheme, Part B, and Finale B from Rent.
Adore from Prince. It just got on my mind. I just saw In the Heights. So the 26 G's. What 26 G's? What would you do if you had 26 G's? I was like,
what about you, Sammy?
I have to go with the cover that Jimi Hendrix did of Bob Dylan, All Along the Watchtower. That's probably my number one.
I maintain that there are some Jimi Hendrix songs that if you listen to and you are completely sober, you are tripping after you hear that, like the first few chords. I maintain his music will get you high. I don't believe you. You are a Cowboys fan. I don't trust you people.
Man. Ditto.
But going back to the original thing, MJF had musical nerds watching AEW. Even to a certain extent. Some of them still watch it because they remember him from when he was a musical nerd.
I love that segment.
Okay.
This second part explains so much about you. That second song explains so much about you.
I love me some Etta James. That
Etta James, yes. This Year Beautiful by James Blunt. He is.
You don't like that song? You're beautiful.
Have you ever listened to the lyrics of that song?
It's true. No, I got it.
Go read the lyrics. Do me a favor. Go read the lyrics. And when he was like, and I was fucking high, and even James Blunt says that is not a good song.
Also, check out the lyrics to "Rock You Like a Hurricane" by the Scorpions.
I don't want to.
Go look up "You're Beautiful." Go look up the lyrics.
The title "Rock You Like a Hurricane." Is there any deviation with the lyrics? I will look them up when we're here.
Wait. Which one?
No, "You're Beautiful."
Okay.
Creepy.
Well, if you were looking for a laugh, "Rock You Like a Hurricane," that would be the one to read, not "You're Beautiful." Just saying.
I will look them up.
No, he is stalking. It's like Hello. It's like, oh my God, I love Hello by Lionel Richie. But he is stalking somebody in the air tonight. He done killed somebody, and we all vibing to the drums.
What about Sting?
Which one?
Every Breath You Take.
Oh, that is the second Stalker out, like anthem.
No, I just heard a joke.
Every move you make, every single, yeah. Stop.
I'll be watching you.
But before we get fully off the rails, before
we get back on the Tevin Campbell song, "Can We Talk?" A comedian ruined that for me. Come on, last night I saw you and then
look,
it's like no, it's supposed to be a nice teen pop. Y'all are making this creepier.
I like the fact with Tevin Campbell and Frank Ocean songs. Yes, I know they're creepy, but I like the fact that we could be singing about the same thing, and I don't have to change the words. I love that for me. That's great. But
back to the argument. Has Roman had any match of the year contenders?
This year?
This year.
Like, I know we don't like, well, I'll say, I can't stand racist Brock, but that SummerSlam match was everything it needed to be. It was, yes, he's right. Yes!
I haven't seen anything about his racism. Just he's an asshole to everybody. He's an equal opportunity asshole.
Okay.
I feel like if you live your entire life where every room you walk into, you could beat the shit out of anybody in it. Like, that probably develops over time.
He didn't. I worked with somebody who went to school with him. He didn't. He just really does not like people. He never has liked people. I don't think Brock was raised by humans. I think he was raised by wolves, and they just made him go to school for punishment.
Or whoever raised aren't innocent people. Whoever raised him, they ventured off into a deep a Scar version, a Scar tribe. The Scar tribe raised Brock Lesnar.
The way Glock Anderson raised his child and was raised is very much North Carolina. So,
I mean, it's got to say something about you if Minnesota's not remote enough for you.
Yeah.
He just doesn't like people.
You got to move to the Canadian outback.
He just don't like people.
Deep into the wilderness.
Like I don't know if he's any more racist than like somebody else, but I also don't see him funding people to go to the insurrection and taking pictures or having their wife take a picture with their nanny at the insurrection, knowing full damn well that's your wife and your girlfriend, Chris Jericho. But yeah. So yeah, I've been thinking this whole time when we were talking, and yeah, I gotta agree with this one. I don't think Roman has this. Yeah,
Drew was good.
I'm trying to think of this year.
A lot of people loved his match with Logan.
I hated it.
You know what?
Logan. But what was set this year?
Royal Rumble.
No, was it Royal Rumble or was it Survivor Series of last
Royal
year?
Rumble.
That was Royal Rumble.
Mm-hmm.
Sweet Jesus time, come back to me. But you know what? The Clash of the Castle, him versus Drew, that was good. I would rewatch that one. That was actually good. We're good?
No. I think maybe him and Seth, but I don't know if that's like from a match perspective or the storyline.
See, I don't need to deviate from. I don't need it to divide. I like the story with the match. Now,
Seth was definitely the best story.
Yeah.
Not overall. Jay has been the best story overall, but I'm going to go ahead and say I don't think it's going to be Jay that flips on Roman. I don't think it's going to be Sammy that flips on Roman. I think it's going to be Jimmy. Because Jimmy never really wanted to be with the bloodline. Jimmy got pulled into that bullshit. Jimmy has lost more than anybody else has behind that shit. And he supports Roman, and Roman just kind of like doesn't acknowledge it. He plays him against his brother. Little brother don't really fuck with them like that anyway. I think when it happens, it's gonna be Jimmy Uso who flips on Roman, because nobody else will see that coming. That's like the one person, and I think it's gonna be him causing Roman to lose one of the belts, then the next belt, and then him being like, "I didn't want to do this, but you wouldn't listen," and
And I feel like if he did that Solo and Sammy would immediately jump to Jimmy's side.
Right? Yeah, I would love that.
Jay would be conflicted, but
Jay would be conflicted.
Like I get the whole out of nowhere, but I do want some hints. Like I do need some, some on TV visual aspect of I'm not 100% with you.
I don't think the hints would come from Jimmy at all. I think it would come from Roman. That Roman would just all of a sudden start speaking down to him a bit too much. And that would be a slow burn.
Or he's paying attention to how Roman moves, and he's seeing how Roman, like if you pay attention during the pay-per-view, he was kind of paying attention to Roman when Roman was looking at Sammy and being like, if you can do this to your best friend, what would you do to us? Type situation. You gotta like look, it's little things. But hello to everybody who has just joined us. We are talking about who is better, Roman versus MJF, but we are looking at all aspects. I personally cannot say one is better than the other. I think they would work well together in different ways. But we'll see here.
I'm of the mind, if you ask me who's better, I'm going MJF. If you ask me who had the better year this year, I'm going Roman.
I have no confidence that MJF will be a better champion than Roman, so that will be my stance right now.
But is Roman even really a champion? He's around he's actually, you know what, Sammy? He's around for those big 4 pay-per-views. That's about it.
But like you can't say that he's not, because Raw is hurt bad without that title on the show.
Are they?
Oh yes, they are. Like SmackDown is great right now because the bloodline, including Roman's on there. Raw needs him back.
Are we hurting because Roman's not there with the belt, or because of that that third hour?
Well, the
I
third hour was
think-
always going to be a choker.
I think when our Savior returns, that Raw will be just fine.
Our Lord and Savior Cody Devontae Rhodes.
Mm-hmm.
The ender of racism
Yeah, the end of all racism.
We got ALW.
in the house.
Although he
Finally.
says the wrong thing, I'm dropping that, bro.
You saw my comments. I stand by them.
Okay, so for everybody
All of
who just came in,
All of them.
he hates Roman. It's all him. Direct all your hate to him.
Oh, they
If
left.
you
I
got
hate Roman. I hate music.
He hates
I hate
Roman.
everybody. I'm just kidding.
He hates. He just
They,
hates
they're already
Roman.
gone. They left.
Would you like to say anything else though while we're still on the topic?
Would I like to say anything else? No, I mean, the way I see it is that I don't think that there's much of a competition at the moment between them as far as promos go. I think MJF is a way better promo. Even when Roman's good, he's still not, at least for me, he's not a very good promo. And in the ring, MJF is definitely a better wrestler. He's got a bigger moveset. He's more fluid. He moves better. Roman is, it's hard to argue because Roman is the main person at what is still the biggest wrestling company in the world. You might like AEW better, but it's still not bigger than WWE yet. So obviously you have to give him something there. But at the same time, like, I don't know. I'm not a Roman fan, so I guess I'm a little biased too, but I don't know. He doesn't move the needle for me. I think Roman's boring myself. The bloodline is exciting, but that's because Jimmy and Jey Uso are so good, and now Sami Zayn is so good. I feel like it's almost in spite of Roman. Like, they try to hype him up like he's the next Rock or something, and he's not. I mean, he's not. He has zero charisma, in my opinion, and I don't think he's a very good wrestler. He does like 3 okay moves, and he just repeats them over and over and over again. And
I
that's
think
not
a better
exciting to me.
comparison would probably be Goldberg.
Yeah, absolutely. I can see that. And Goldberg, in my opinion, is a terrible wrestler. It always was. Like, so yeah, if you want to compare Roman to Goldberg, that's fine.
I know y'all.
And if we're doing that, let's go ahead.
Let's
Let's go ahead. Let's go ahead and let's compare MJF to Bret Hart then.
Sure.
You know what? Okay.
I mean, he hasn't proven it yet. He doesn't have the longevity yet to say that, but sure. I mean, I think that's a decent comparison.
I have nothing to say. Go on to Bridget with Sil.
I'm waiting for CM. CM's got something. I know it.
Y'all went real left field. No.
Is CM not talking in protest?
What are y'all smoking? What crack rocks is it?
Don't say
Did
y'all.
you get it from Tony Khan? Did you get it from Tony Khan?
Yeah.
I know y'all did not just fix
Yeah.
your house to set. Okay,
Yeah.
we're gonna start off with the least offensive.
Pretty sure I got it from RVD.
Bret Hart. We're gonna start. That is the least offensive, comparing him to Bret Hart, because honestly, if he gets sharper in his in-ring abilities, MJF actually could be one of the best technical wrestlers of his generation, because he does have that ability. It is very much the same with Darby Allin. They don't have to go out there and have like super flashy matches. They're actually good at the technical parts of things. MJF is just really good speaking. I almost said with his mouthpiece, and that definitely would be a pause. But Darby is really good at high flying. But as we saw in their match, when they are together and you take away all of that, it is still entertaining enough that you forget how long the match may have been going on and you are engrossed in it.
Which
Now,
Bret was famous for.
Hmm?
which Brett was famous for.
Oh hell,
Brett
yeah.
was a great in-ring storyteller.
You would forget, but I know y'all did not fix y'all's raggedy tail mouths to say Roman Reigns and Goldberg, Bill, he who may not be named Goldberg, he who ended Bret Hart's career, he who Bret Hart will call down the fiery vengeance of Owen Hart on. No, not. Roman, let's be real and let's be honest. The same thing that happened with Naomi, the same thing that happened with Lisa Fox, the same thing that has happened with a lot of talented folks in that generation or slightly before that generation, had their movesets pushed down to fit in the box that Vince created for them. Roman, if given the opportunity to and having
All
the
that.
faith of himself, could have more than those 3 moves. We've seen him have good matches where he's busted out different things. It's just Vince wants him in a box where he's a badass and he's pretty. And that fits in, okay, we're going to give you 3 moves. We're going to give you these people that you can depend on to kind of push you and bolster you a little bit because I don't believe in you enough. He did the same thing with The Rock. When he came out there, and I'm just happy to be here. I'm great.
So many tassels.
Transformation.
So many tassels.
Nation of Domination. All of that.
It feels like he sees, it worked for Hulk Hogan. Let's do it again.
And you got it with John Cena.
Oh no. This man had the
Roman. If Roman is allowed to be who he could be and allowed to go in, you've seen it. He has flashes of greatness, but if your boss does not believe in you, you ain't gonna be able to do shit.
So, what's Roman's greatest match? What's his best match?
Is it the 6-man tag match against
the Wyatt family?
No, not a Shield match, a Roman Reigns match. Not a Shield match, a Roman Reigns singles match.
Singles. Oh.
I go between potentially CM Punk. There have been matches where he's like tagged, like the match where he tagged with Bray was a great one.
Mm-hmm. Especially the finish.
I would say his series, like the matches with Seth.
Low key, like I know you said singles, but low key, him and Sasha versus someone like I don't know who it was, but it was on Smack.
So you guys are 100% right. You can't find a singles match that's great, and if you do, it's with another wrestler. It's with another wrestler that carried him. Let's talk about AJ Styles, carried him. Let's talk about Jey Uso, carried him. He's a better wrestler, in-ring worker than Roman Reigns, and he carried him in that match, which is Roman's best match of his life. The other matches with Brock Lesnar, Brock's garbage too. So who else that he's wrestled single that he's been in a good match with that he's carried the match? Give me one. You can't.
I'm getting like I know you know what bump recency. I Drew versus Drew at Clash in the Castle is a definite rewatch. That's definitely a rewatch, and not just because of Solo. That was actually a really good match.
I'd still argue that Drew's the better wrestler, though. I mean, I'd still argue Drew carries him there.
Okay. Let's break it down. How many moves does Drew have over Roman?
I don't know. We'd have to go move by move, I guess. I mean, Drew doesn't have a lot more, but.
Thank you.
But he's also
like 4 more though.
He's also got more personality. He's more fluid in the ring.
He also has wrestled outside WWE. However, when you put him back into the role that Roman occupies, that was supposed to be Drew.
No. Vince definitely had a big man complex. Like, and a whole lot of people were victims of that.
I feel like
eyes off the screen.
I feel like Roman Reigns is there because they've put him there, where MJF has gotten there organically because he's that good. I'm not saying that Tony Khan hasn't booked him, but he's over because he's really fucking good. If you don't book Roman as strong as you have, I don't think he's over.
What's the classic MJF match in AEW?
A classic.
Which
MJF.
one do you want?
Yeah, I mean, I thought
Tell me
him
that-
versus
A
Jungle
better
Boy.
wrestler didn't carry him.
Jungle Boy.
I don't remember that.
Boy
match,
technically is a better wrestler than MJF. He's not a better storyteller. He doesn't have a better personality. But Jungle Boy is more solid in the ring than MJF.
I don't know about that. I think that's debatable.
I mean, the one that's coming to my head is Darby Allin.
and that was all Darby. Don't even act like it wasn't.
So it was all Darby. So he just
That
wrestled nobody. He was just in there wrestling by himself.
That was
95% of that was Darby.
70% Darby, 30% MJF.
What match is ever 95% Darby? His whole thing is he gets thrown around for 95% of the match, gets one
But
or
he
two
didn't
hot
get thrown
moves, and the
around by
match is
MJF.
over.
He did not get thrown around by MJF. Darby Allin went into his technical tool bag, and he didn't do a lot of that offense. He didn't do a lot of the standard Darby Allin stuff. That was not a standard Darby Allin match. Technically, if you want to get real technical about it, it was far more in line with MJF's house than it was with Darby.
MJF versus Mox? That's better than any of the Roman
Oh
matches.
no, it's. I am technically yeah.
You might be able to say that maybe because Mox is the best wrestler in the world right now, maybe he carried him. But either way, it's still hands down better than any Roman match.
Let's look at their matches with John. We can look at MJF and John Moxley, and you can look at Roman and Dean Ambrose, because that is the closest Moxley matches that we've got.
And I would say with MJF and Cody carried that too.
Like, they both have relatively been carried by better wrestlers, but that's through no fault of their own, because these are they're in companies with really good wrestlers. Like, they can't help that. Like, you could be a good wrestler, and I think both of them really are good. They are good. But
there's a lot of similarities between the two.
When you're talking about Seth, when you're talking about Seth, when you're talking about Darby, when you're talking about like all these other folks, they're cut above.
Wrestling wise, yeah.
Seth makes such a better heel than he does a face.
That's because Seth's a dick. In real life.
And the thing is that if he's a heel, the fans will actually cheer him.
Because we accept that he's a dick in real life.
Yes.
That doggone song.
They can't help it. He's just a dick.
I mean, the reality is that there's no right answer, right? It's all opinion. It's all opinion and subjective anyhow.
Again, I spent the whole day like coming up with pro-con list about who's better.
Yeah.
And it goes back to, realistically, they are very much the same. I want to see them in a faction. I want to see the chaos. I want to see them go from different companies and just doing all the shit, just causing all types of mischief. I want to see that.
I think that Roman's going to go to Hollywood and MJF is going to fit very nicely in WWE with Roman gone.
I think they're both going to Hollywood.
I mean, if they're both smart and they both have an opportunity to go to Hollywood, that's a smart thing to do instead of getting their ass kicked all the time.
I will say this. Outside of wrestling, I think MJF has a better chance in Hollywood than Roman. And that's just because your cousin's The Rock. And everybody can compare you to The Rock or Aquaman. Or
This Momoa can't act, though, so Roman might be a little bit better. But Jason Momoa is prettier, so...
All right.
I imagine MJF would want to do drama.
Mm-hmm. Oh, he would be one of those people that would forever be booked. Like, he could do. Roman Reigns would be perfect in Lifetime movies.
See, no. You say that, I see MJF on SVU. Being the being the douche dude who gets arrested because he got caught and he's trying to get a super behind lawyer to get him off. But
it wasn't effing me. It wasn't effing me.
You know what? I could see him on like Grey's Anatomy, the cocky the cocky like med student who everybody hates, like Alex Karev in the first season. Roman Reigns will be perfect on Lifetime. He would fit great on Hallmark. He has that. He could be small town like boy who convinces the girl to stay for Christmas type situation.
We talking about MJF? MJF, small town? No, no. City boy.
Yeah, because like I think MJF doing that more than I do Roman. Roman ain't gonna be the small town dude. He gonna be the dude.
See, my mother loves Hallmark and Lifetime movies, so I watch those. All the small town dudes are like supposed to be ridiculously handsome, and that's why they want the woman to stay with them, because they are so beautiful that the regular girls don't accept and appreciate them. Roman fits that perfectly, and he could be like what's the girl from Twilight, Kristen Stewart. He could literally give a performance like her and just, my name is Bob.
That's so wrong.
And it would be the best Hallmark holiday movie.
That's such a low bar. That's such a low bar.
A low bar with lots of return. And he gets access to the SAG Award insurance, which is better than anything WWE could ever offer. That's recurring money. Like, Romy, go to Lifetime, go to Hallmark, get that money, boo. Get that money.
I will never watch a Roman Reigns movie.
I will
go to
Netflix. I think Roman's good enough to go to Netflix. I think he's
Netflix is cutting.
Seth Rollins has been on Netflix. He can do it.
No, they cutting stuff too much. He needs guaranteed money with them 5011 kids.
True,
Hallmark and Lifetime. That is y'all know them women would love him and toss their panties at the daggone screen when he comes. Oh, why y'all acting silly?
All right. So, as a small town dude, I'm calling bullshit. Let's go ahead and vote.
I'm from the boonies, boy. I can go ahead and tell you he's exotic enough that these women will love him.
But he has to have okay, I watch Hallmark too. He has to have a genuinely humble personality as well. I don't think he has the personality to pull off.
He could be the douchey boss that the small town girl changes.
He's not even good enough to act in a Hallmark movie, and they're bad actors.
And that's why you're out of the stream.
that was really timed well.
I'm just gonna say that if he does a Lifetime Christmas movie called Honolulu Holidays, shit, I'd probably check it out.
Let's be real. He could be the douchey boss. He could be the douchey neighbor. He could play a douche. Or he could be like the guy who was the nerd in school and he doesn't see the beauty in himself type situation. There is so many tropes that he could be.
He can't be a freaking nerd. Now, okay, as a nerd from a small town, I call BS on that. He cannot play
as the one of 4 black people from her 8th grade graduating class. I'm gonna go ahead and tell you, this man could play it, and I know because romance novelists use him as inspiration. What are you talking? They're the ones who write this stuff. What are y'all talking about? I'm sitting here telling y'all this man can make millions. He can make more than The Rock, to be quite honest. Because that Lifetime, if you get in one Lifetime movie or one Hallmark movie and they like you, you are all over that stuff. He can be ethnically ambiguous.
Make more than The Rock. My mind can't comprehend that.
Hollywood pays well. Hallmark and Lifetime pay better.
That's good. We may take the
numbers, Rock's like the number 1 paid actor in the world.
Is he?
Is he not? Who gets paid more?
I think he is.
I'm asking a good question, y'all. You saying it? Prove it.
I mean, you can look it up. I mean, you can Google it. I think he is.
I'll Google it.
Black Adam just.
Well, I wasn't saying CM could look it up. I was saying it can be looked up. I mean, you can Google it. I mean, anyone can Google it.
And then
highest paid actor 2022. Number 1 is Tom Cruise.
Oh dang! You just say more than Tom Cruise?
No, he said number 1 is Tom Cruise.
Oh. Who's number? What number is he?
This is what.
Well, I'm at number 6 right now. Number 5. He's number 5. Number 4 is Brad Pitt. Number 3 is Leonardo DiCaprio.
Really?
Number two is Will Smith.
Interesting.
Leonardo? When last time Leonardo did something?
Look,
That I wanted to watch.
Don't do that.
Movie was
But you wanted.
don't do that. I love Leonardo DiCaprio. I watched all his movies up to The Bear and the Django. The Bear and the Django. I hopped off because I was just like, the bear Leo. You couldn't. Like,
why are you in the forest with a bear?
Like you could just take.
Why are you in the forest with a bear?
There's a lot of ways you can play out the Bear Leo.
No, I love Leonardo too. I'm just saying, in the past 10 years, like you said, after.
But I'm being okay. Here's the situation with Roman. If he were to go into Lifetime and Hallmark, I know people are gonna feel some way. White women would love him. White women will watch him. He is ethnically ambiguous enough to pull it off. He can pull. He's the family man. He is literally the Hallmark package wrapped up in a bow. You can't go no better than him. MJF could actually be in Hollywood. MJF could be on Broadway. MJF has a plethora more opportunities than Roman.
Oh, no.
Roman.
Definitely MJF has a better opportunity than Roman in Hollywood. I would definitely say that.
But do we
So if Hollywood's entertainment and wrestling's entertainment and MJF is better in Hollywood, how is he not better in the same entertainment field?
You just made an equation that nobody is trying to go like you just said.
We could just move on. It's all good. We could just move on. Y'all know the truth.
Like, hold up. You just made 2 + 5 = 4. And no one was going with that equation.
All right.
You
We
just
can go ahead and move right along.
Well, I mean, who's a better actor? Dave
MJF.
Bautista or The Rock?
Oh, The Rock, for sure.
Batista?
We're not going. We're off
What are
the
we
rails.
talking about?
Bring
He
it
has one good role.
Dave Bautista has far more
Don't say
range than The
actually,
Rock.
because it's your opinion. You can't just say that and say
Dave
like it's a
Bautista has
fact.
more range than The Rock. The Rock has played the same damn character in every single movie. Why you having a temper tantrum?
Y'all talking about me versus
what
CM?
character has
CM
Dwayne
versus
played that has been
AEW?
different? What character has Dwayne played that's been different than superhero or incredibly strong or fighting or but since what's that movie with Sean William Scott?
They're on.
I want to say long time so much.
No,
the lockdown.
Walk hard. He had the 2x4. Walk hard.
The longest. No, walk hard.
Walk hard, right? When he had the 2x4. Yeah.
No. Walking Tall, but
yeah.
Walking Tall.
But that's not that movie.
Are you talking about the Rundown with Stifler?
Yeah.
Didn't they do 2 movies together?
No. Walking Tall was a different one.
Are you sure?
Well, Walking Tall was a good movie. Walking Tall, he goes to a strip club.
He comes back to town after being in the military, and his town has been taken over by a strip club dude who's destroying the town, and he comes in.
But I thought that was Stifler's dad who did that. And
no, he goes into the jungle to get Stifler to bring him back to his dad because the kid owes him.
His dad's a rich millionaire, and
kid owes a bunch of money.
Yes, that sounds accurate.
They were in the. I'm confused.
Those are 2 different movies.
One's in small town America, one's in the jungles of the Philippines.
Both in the forest.
Oh, was it the Philippines? I thought it was Australia.
No, I think it's the Philippines or Malaysia or something.
That's how
it looked beautiful, whatever it was.
Whatever it was. So, shall we move on to mid-Carter?
The point I was trying to make by saying that is that one can be a lot more popular than the other, but it doesn't necessarily make one better than the other because they're more popular. Is what I was trying to get at.
I want to know when Dwayne doesn't play the same character in the movie.
I told you. Have you seen Be Cool? The
Yeah.
character that he plays in that movie is nothing like any other character he's ever played.
Low key, the game plan was a good movie. It really was. With the little girl from Disney, Peyton something.
And tell me, have you seen Jungle Cruise?
Yeah, that's cute.
How is Jungle Cruise the same as Spencer Stratham from Ballers? It's not
I
even
know.
close. The
I
characters
didn't.
are
I
totally
didn't
different.
watch Ballers. I'm talking
Ball
about.
was good.
So if you haven't seen the Rock stuff, then how can you say he's the same in
You
everything? You've
asked
seen one
about
Rock
his
movie and
movies.
said he's the
You
same in
asked about his
everything.
movies. Is Ballers a movie? No. It's
Oh
a
my
series.
God.
Moving on.
Okay, so how many Rock movies have you seen?
Just about all of them, with the exception of Jungle Cruise and the newest Jumanji, because I don't like.
So
them
you've seen
apart.
Be Cool.
Yes. We
And you
just-
didn't think that character was any different than the character he played in, say, San
No.
Andreas or Cliffhanger? No, it wasn't.
No, they
I
are-
have not seen
Holy
Rampage
smokes.
and Skyscraper.
Rampage
Oh,
is a
this is
good
like shit.
Saturday morning movie. You know, like you're bored, watch it. Oh, this is fun. Skyscraper, I haven't seen that. I probably won't.
Skyscraper actually looked good to me. I just haven't seen it. Like, I don't want to pay for it. So, and it's available
not
for
one
free,
of
I'll
his
probably-
better movies.
It'll be on.
Not
TNT
everything he
about-
does is great, and Skyscraper is definitely not one of them.
It'll be on
This is what he
TNT.
does.
About
Siam's
30
laughing,
days.
but she knows I'm not wrong.
I know you're not wrong, and I'm laughing because you're right. And I wish I hadn't even wasted the time to bootleg it and watch it on my Wi-Fi. And be real. Let's move
So-
on.
Moving on.
We do have
Wait. Show of hands. So, who's going Roman? Because
In
okay,
wrestling,
who's going
yes.
MJF? All right,
Where you
and
going,
Siam's
Siam?
not voting. Siam is
I
not voting.
told you I can, for every argument I can make for Roman, I can make for MJF. To me, it does not seem fair for me to pick one when I don't personally feel like I would be authentic in picking just one. And since my brain power is maximized to focus on other shit that's more relevant, I'm not gonna lie about that shit.
All right, so 2.5 to 1.5. Roman wins.
I'm more than this.
2022.
Yes. I had to. Let's go move on to the next thing. Do we want to do mid Carter or breakout star?
Let's do
Well,
Mid Carter.
Just to be clear, because I have two names.
No, you can only have one.
No, I'm asking because I don't know if one counts or not.
What do you mean?
So I have a backup.
Okay, so we'll give the one you know for sure as a Mid Carter, and then we'll talk about your backup.
Well, I wanted the other one to be it, and if he wasn't, then I was going to say the other one.
All right, go ahead. Ask who it is, and we'll tell you.
Hold on. Our criteria for
Yes.
Oh, that's
top
right.
mid Carter
Hold on.
of 2022 was they had to have at least 5 matches in 2022. And hold on, let me pull up the other criteria. Because
think you said
AEW tried to slide some shit in there that wouldn't.
I think you said at least 2 storylines that could be built upon or were built upon.
Yeah, let me double check this because AEW ain't gonna get me.
I didn't try to throw anything in. I was just throwing
Yes,
out
you
some
did.
ideas.
Yes, the fuck you did.
I mentioned some things
you
in
did.
idea mode. God damn it!
Always try to throw shit in.
I wasn't
Okay.
like we should.
5 matches in total with at least 2 storylines / potential storylines that can be built for improvement, not downgrading. So my example was AJ Styles, who has actually, through the rough patch, he has elevated. Dolph Ziggler has not. Although he is still better than his brother. So who do y'all have for top mid card for 2022?
So my number 1 would be Sami Zayn.
Okay.
That counts.
Yeah, that counts.
Yeah, I guess my
Alright.
only question is I'd have to look. Has he actually had 5 matches?
Mhm.
Because he had like 5 against Roman, didn't he?
Not against Roman. Definitely
He had-
Brawling Brutes, like 4.
Yeah, no, you're right. I mean, I guess he's had a lot of matches with the Bloodline for sure.
Well, he had quite a few matches with Drew where he just ran away from.
No, I think that's
He
That was
does
like
have a
3
good
matches just with Drew right there, but
Did the bell ring? Yes,
Yeah.
it counts.
Yeah.
Now, if we want to get into what doesn't count,
but 2 storylines. So you got the Bloodline storyline, and
Mhm.
you have the Johnny Knoxville storyline. That's 2. Boom.
you also have the Kevin Owens storyline.
Well, I only
And-
needed 2.
Yeah,
And all of this has potential to be better. Well, besides the Jackass stuff, all his storylines have a better potential next year. We don't know what's going to happen, and I'm here for it.
does Sami Zayn have a storyline with every like top guy? Like he's had or has had a storyline with every top guy this year.
Basically,
Yeah.
anybody who has held a world title, I'm pretty sure.
Yep, could he have one with Brock too? When he won them with contendership, and Brock was like, you know what? Go for it. Do it this SmackDown. You
The
can do
only
it.
person who he may not have had anything to do with that it was a world champion was Bobby Lashley. I can't think
No,
of
they
anything
had
he's done with
something.
Bobby Lashley.
They had something, and I think it was focused on something because he had like interaction or something with Lashley. I remember that one.
So yeah, every single world champion in the company has interacted with Sami Zayn at some point this year.
That it blows your mind when you think about it, right? He was mine, so yeah.
Same here.
He was yours too.
Because it was like trying to pick like from all the different companies. I'm like, nobody's
different one.
been better than Sammy to me.
And the whole thing about being elevated, I don't see, like you said, in every wrestling company, I don't see anyone being elevated. Like they can go to the next realm. They can be a main eventer. Honestly,
That's not already a main eventer.
Exactly. But ALW said you have a different one?
I did, but I mean, I think you guys have a very solid argument for Sammy, and I wouldn't be my argument is I wouldn't have an argument against Sammy. I had Orange Cassidy, but I don't have.
Hold up, pause.
Yeah.
You
right?
Cassidy.
What?
You?
Yeah, you.
Yes, I dislike him, but I picked him. These are not who Alan likes the best. These are asking me who I think objectively is the best top
which is
mid-carder
how
in
I
wrestling.
like to answer the questions too. Yeah.
If you are not being held captive, blink twice.
I'm blinking to that.
I just pontificate though.
I mean, he has good. He doesn't do it for me, but he has good matches. He's a good worker in the ring. He's had a lot of matches this year. He's got the current title right now where he's doing the whole challenge stick, which is a good storyline. It's building him up. He's had other storylines early in the year. I'm drawing a blank on right now. I don't have a second one right off the top of my head, but I know there's been other ones this year.
Him versus you. Well, not versus Yuta, but Yuta turning on against them to join the Blackpool Combat Club. That was a decent.
He turned on
storyline.
I completely get it.
The others.
He has had a solid year. Yeah, good matches too.
For me, he's like
names.
the biggest AEW star that's not on the main event here at this moment.
I
would say
Shibata.
And but again, if Sammy did not have like interactions with like every person who held a top belt this year.
And again, I'm not going to argue with Sami Zayn at all. I mean, I think Sami Zayn's fine. I mean, if we want to give it to Sami Zayn, then
so we give our golden horsey to Sami Zayn.
My second pick would have been Ricky Starks.
Oh yeah. I said Orange Cassidy before.
Almost
because of that break Ricky had because he was hurt, but his storylines have been really, really good.
Almost.
Like if y'all had told me Sami Zayn's a main eventer, I'd been like, all right, Ricky Starks then.
I had Darby Allin at number 2.
Well, to be fair, we finished with that one, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah, no. It's definitely Sammy. The thing about Ricky and Darby, the whole elevation thing. It felt like right now they're not going anywhere, and that sucks because they should. Dang it, man.
I mean, Darby is in an undefeated tag team.
But why isn't TK not using that to give him another belt? Or Ricky? I'm sorry. This is probably the hill I will die on. I love Swarm Our Glory, but the storyline might have been a little bit better if it was Team Taz. Not sure, but 3 points higher if it was Team Taz.
I don't think.
I appreciate them not giving them the title if they were just going to break them up.
I don't think the storyline would have worked with the Acclaim eventually getting the belts. I think that would have wasted the Acclaim's momentum, and Team Taz would have continued to hold the belts. The Acclaim wouldn't be the tag team champions, and they would fall back.
We've had too many instances of teams winning the belts and then them breaking up. I'm kind of done with that for a while. Like Jurassic Express, SCU, like so many teams that have become champions ended up breaking up.
I definitely agree with that one.
But
that's a pretty traditional wrestling trope. They do that, and that's what they do, right? All tag teams break up at some point. It's dumb, right?
Right? It's so dumb.
Now, for our breakout star of 2022. This was someone who had a storyline that built on itself to thrust someone into prominence, with the example being the Acclaimed.
Meaning thrusting Billy Gunn into prominence?
No,
thrusting themselves into prominence.
Bowens and Caster, because let's be quite honest, most of their matches before this run were on Dark Elevation, and Rampage. A lot of people kind of fell off the Acclaim, and it wasn't until they are part of the people who made Dark Elevation. You had to watch it because there's going to be an Acclaim segment. It's going to be an Acclaim match. It's going to be something that you want to watch. You have to watch. You need to talk about later. So
say it again, because I'm not sure I quite understood the criteria when I made my list.
Your top breakout star is someone who has a storyline that built on itself to thrust someone into prominence.
Okay. I think my guy still fits. I'll go first. I don't care. I'll go first.
Get your nose, Danica. Get your nose.
I'll go first. I don't care. I'll go first. I'll take the bullet, and I'm going to take the bullet because I know that you guys are going to have an issue with this, because not only is he going to be my breakout star of the year, but he also might have had the worst booking of the year as well. I think Austin Theory is the breakout star of the year, on top of having the worst Money in the Bank cash-in probably ever. I mean, I can't. He has done everything you could ask of someone to do this year. He's been in good storylines. He's wrestled well. He's been in a bad storyline. And still overcome it. He's now back champion again, and I think in a much better light, despite just 2 months ago having the worst Money in the Bank cash-in probably ever. And I think the future looks really bright. I see him as a.
I don't know if he'd be in my top 5. Be honest.
But you're not wrong.
But you're not wrong. He is definite top 10.
And then it's weird because because the way it was earlier this year as well. That definitely jumpstart his.
No doubt, and he was great with them.
That actually was.
He had a match with Brock Lesnar.
Yep.
3 people can say that this year.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah.
And the whole I do not like Vince pushing him in our faces, but he actually was doing some stuff. So you're not wrong.
I'm actually wrong about what I said, because day 1 happened and he faced 4 people in that night. So it is more than just 3 people who have faced Brock. It's 7.
I don't like having Vince shove people down my throat, but I don't mind it when it's guys I think that are somewhat deserving and are at least talented. I think Austin Theory is a talented guy, so at least I feel like it's somewhat a little bit more. So I really hate it when it's guys that have no talent that he shoves down your throat. So
I like
somebody
Rose
else has
Laverne.
to go at some point. Y'all put your fingers on your nose, but y'all got to go at some point.
Not it.
You were last.
No, was it?
Yes, you were. Me and Sammy already had our fingers in our noses.
Rewind the tape.
I was definitely first.
And I went right after I saw his finger creep up to his nose.
Okay.
Well, I have two, and I'm hoping one of you says my other one so I can.
I have one, but I'm not sure if it fits the criteria. I just want to say her name, Willow. I think Willow is she's the breakout star for me. Now, in the criterias, I'm gonna shoehorn this. I'm gonna make it. I'm gonna work. Her versus the baddies. That definitely pushed because you know what? Okay, now I think about it. Yeah, let's go for it because she wasn't even supposed to it was supposed to be Athena and Statlander's storyline, and they just needed a third. She wasn't even supposed to be the main person, but she actually moved that into being the main person. And that last match with her and Jade, it was like, all right, you give her a proper program, and she can go for 3 and dethrone Jade. I honestly believe that, and I want that for her. And so, yes, I think Willow definitely is the breakout star. She really is in my book. Yes.
She was number 1 on my list for women. I mean, I kind of had a list for both, and she was number 1 on my list for women.
I see him. It's cool.
I have no argument with that.
Can I go ahead and say who my number 2 would be then?
Sure.
My number 2 would be Takeshita. Because he don't take no shit. I love him. He's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
But number one goes to Jamie Hayter.
Oh. Okay.
Breakout year of breakout years. At the start of the year, I never would have imagined this is how the year would have ended for her, and I'm so happy for her.
I have no argument with that either.
You're not wrong, but the whole Sriracha thing, shoehorning herself into that, is messing with me right now because it's if they would if Sriracha.
Sriracha's not who is the breakout star here.
No. What I'm saying is because the criteria is a storyline that propelled you. Her versus Britt should have been the storyline to propel her to this situation, but it wasn't because we had to stop that because Sriracha came in and we had to put them back together, and that was dumb.
I mean, I guess she had a storyline with Toni Storm to a certain extent.
That story is not over. This is long-term storytelling. They will eventually have a match, but their match won't happen for at least, I'd say, I'm going to guess 8 months.
Are you talking about Britt and Jamie?
Britt and Jamie. I'm going to say 8 months is when they finally have a match.
I guess the only question would be is if Jamie spent too much time in the background this year. She's broken out, but it's been towards the latter end of the year, really, right?
Mm-hmm.
I love this quote. Is it long-term story booking, or is it a story that takes too doggone long to write?
Right?
I think it's a story that takes too doggone
Oh, there's a fine line.
Right.
It's a fine line. When it's done good, it's long-term story booking. When it's bad, it's a story that's taking too long to tell.
I think it's long-term story booking because I also think if the restrictions hadn't happened with COVID and she hadn't had to go back to England or whatever, I think this story possibly could have happened a lot sooner and we wouldn't have ever gotten that Toni Storm reign. I think they would have swapped. I think without COVID, a lot of things would have been different.
I could see that, yeah.
But I agree with both of yours, Sammy. I agree with both of yours. I agree with most everybody that's not ALW. Theory.
There's no one else to wait to go. You got to go now. Just give us yours so we can ask you.
I am going to say Ricky Starks. And I say this because in the beginning of the year, he was kind of with the whole Team Taz kind of falling back a little bit. He came forward a little bit and fell back. But the storyline of basically redemption because he lost. He kept losing those big matches. Like you couldn't really depend on him to win that stuff. The fact that he elevated the FCW championship as well as putting over Hook, as well as the series that has happened and will happen with Hobbs because that's not something that people would have thought of. Like this man had made himself a pillar of a company that he was supposed to be one off in. Like Ricky Starks, if he had not had that injury, it would have been his year. But I honestly think next year, around this time, if MJF has the belt still or has regained the belt, Ricky Starks is going to be the one to take the belt from him. And that is going to be his crowning and defining moment for 2023.
I will say this. King Taz and Serving Our Glory ran Rampage. And in the best way possible. I tuned in for Rampage for that. When they finally had that 4-way on Dynamite in New Orleans, that was the funkiest match of the night. And I still think that's the best match of the night. Period. So I will put it in that criteria of them all four of them elevating each other. And right now it is a tie between Ricky and Swerve on who has the better rub out of that storyline.
I just feel like Ricky was breakout of 2021. Like for me, I feel like he was already broken out for this year.
I agree.
I don't think he was. I think he began the process of breaking out, but I think this year has been the year he's actually broken out, where he's actually had storylines independent of like being in Team Taz and being connected to Hook and Hobbs. Like now we are starting to talk about him and MJF and their past. Before it was really kind of relegated to Team Taz and maybe NWA. We didn't really talk too much about other stuff that Ricky did. Now we're beginning to do that, and we're starting to see the evolution of Ricky Starks and him becoming a breakout star of 2021.
For me,
I don't know what this year is, to be quite honest.
For me, breakout star is somebody who I wasn't talking about last year, but
that wasn't the criteria
that I can't shut up about now.
That wasn't the criteria.
It was not.
If you want to debate about the criteria, help set the criteria. I'm just saying.
Well, I mean, that's criteria of what makes somebody eligible. For me, of what makes somebody the best is somebody who has increased their platform.
Wait, by your token.
She's tapping. She's typing. She's typing.
Like I could be wrong about that. That's just like what I think of when I think of breakout. Like
my number two is Mike Bailey. The only reason I didn't put him in number one is because I didn't think he did it on a big enough stage.
I'll say this.
Now you will argue that.
There's a difference between an introduction and breakout. I think he had a bomb introduction in 2021, but he might be but I think he has a good breakout moment in 2022. I think there is a difference.
And I know that Jamie Hayter broke out in 2021 as well when she started teaming with Britt, if we want to get technical about it.
When was that? Like November?
October 23rd, 2021.
October.
The debut of Rampage, and I thought she was Becky for like 2 seconds.
I didn't want to split up. Tag teams and Dax being all in his feelings about the stuff turned me off. So yeah.
I had Dax at number 3.
But I could before today, I could agree with you on that, Blue. That hurts to say a lot.
But I do agree with those two. I do agree with those two.
I love Ricky Starks. I'm all in for Ricky Starks. I want him to be champion in AEW, heavyweight champion, world champion. My question is, what big wins has he really had this year?
Well, okay,
He
I'll-
beat Powerhouse Hobbs.
Yeah.
I want to say Team
Dax?
Tag versus Swerve.
No.
Inner Glory.
Ricky Starks.
The
That's my
storyline-
only question. That's my
The
only
storyline.
issue.
I'm not looking at the match.
But
in
big
and of
wins should
itself.
count
I'm
towards
thinking
being a
about,
breakout
like,
star, right?
For me and my breakout star, I think the storyline that he had and continues to have with both Hobbs and now MJF, and we're gonna add some more folks in it. This
And he
is
beat
something
Jay
I
Lethal,
can actually
too.
watch. Like, I can watch a Ricky Starks match and not get bored. I think I also noticed that we said a lot of men. That's weird, and that's kind of off-putting. Like, what have the women really had a year worth talking about as far as like a breakout
I
star?
said Willow.
Besides
I-
Willow. Besides Willow.
I mean, Sammy said Jamie
Jamie.
Hayter.
But Jamie's also 2021. But so, like, besides those two, and those are both in AEW in ROH. So
I mean, but Jamie in 2021 was just hired muscle. She wasn't really known. She didn't have much of a character. Like,
And I think there is a
Yeah.
difference between introduction and breakout. Like, you could be known for several years and just be mired in nothing, and then all of a sudden have, boom, a breakout year. Like, just because we know who you are doesn't mean that you can't have a breakout year. You don't have to be totally new to us to be a breakout star.
we can argue back and forth about this all day, every day. But the better question is, besides those two from AEW and ROH, do we have any women breakout stars of 2022?
I mean,
I
Bianca's
mean,
been the
uh-oh.
biggest woman star, but is she a
Breakout.
breakout star of 2022?
No.
no, not breakout. The one you could give breakout to would be Liv, but that feels wrong to say.
I don't think that would be it for her either.
No.
But you know who was a breakout star for 2022? You know who was a breakout star? The skateboard.
I was going to say, Wendy Chu.
Magic.
The skateboard had the best year 2022.
All right.
All right.
So
It went full Chris Angel. Never go full Chris Angel.
Can we pick one that we agree? Do we
Ugh.
have one that we could agree with?
I don't think.
I think the one we might be able to agree on would actually be the one I didn't actually name, Takeshita.
Which is
I think we can all agree on Takeshita, right?
I can
No.
agree with Takeshita. Because Takeshita had multiple storylines with the big stars, and he came very close to beating all of them.
Even
But-
Hangman Page, when Hangman Page was champ. Like,
oh. Now I know what you're talking about.
Cinnabon Man.
White trunks. Okay, I'm now engaged in it. I'm not engaged in it.
like he's doing great shit for a company he actually doesn't even work for.
No, he's signed to AEW now.
Oh, he is signed there? Well, for most of what he did, he was not signed for.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not opposed. But story.
Like, he's getting people to talk about DDT wrestling again. Like, holy shit, I wasn't expecting that in 2022.
ALW, Hater of the Year. What say you?
Sure.
Feels wrong, but all right.
I mean, who else could you really think of?
Because, like, we all have solid number ones, but I don't think any of our number ones, like, we would actually get the other people to agree with.
I would
Okay.
be more inclined to agree about Willow than anybody else.
All right, I'm gonna throw two more names out for you. Yay or nay, real quick.
Well, actually, I could agree with Willow, too. So let's leave it to ALW. ALW.
Sure.
No. I'm asking you. Between Takeshita and Willow, who do you think has had more of a breakout year?
Austin Theory. Sure.
cannot agree. If it was Austin Theory of the Way, yes. But
When he won Money in the Bank, we didn't know it was going to be the worst cash, and no one expected him to win Money in the Bank.
It's not even that.
Then he came back and just beat Seth and Bobby for the U.S. title.
If he had been Austin Theory of the Way winning Money in the Bank, yes, I would have been for it. But he wasn't. And there's still no clear defined character for him. It still kind of flip-flops, and I don't like that.
Okay.
Tyler Breeze did it better. I said it. Tyler Breeze did it better.
I mean, they have differences. It's not the same thing.
Willow.
Real quick though, because these two names actually did come to mind, and they deserve a conversation. Will Yuta and Daniel Garcia as breakouts.
If it wasn't for the past month where they kind of got forgotten, yeah. Because how do you forget?
I think Daniel Garcia more than Wheeler Yuta, but yeah.
You forget Wheeler Yuta. You forget. How the fuck do you forget Red Dead? How the fuck do you forget Red Dead? This motherfucker was going out here putting on bangers. How the fuck is he relegated to fucking jail?
I enjoyed Wheeler Yuta versus MJF. I said it.
What about Dominic Mysterio? No one got him on their list?
No.
Why not?
How you say that with a straight face?
Okay.
Seriously.
They were tag team champions this year, or was that last year?
That was
How long has this year been?
This year has been a long year.
It was a long year.
Did that happen this year, or did that happen last?
I think it was this year.
Austin Theory breakout star before I would give it to Dominic Mysterio for this year.
I wouldn't say that because right now he's playing the jerk heel so much, and Rhea is helping him so much. I'm like, Rhea, really? I need you to stop. I'm gonna need you to stop right now.
But it's awkward. It's
My
a weird
God.
storyline to me.
I just thought of something. So Rhea is dating Buddy Murphy.
Yeah, they basically
Buddy
swapped
Man.
him and his
Ew! Don't say it! No! Don't say it!
Buddy and Rhea would be like the greatest intergender tag team.
Oh,
taking Mysterio, Mysterio family down. And always. They're Eskimo siblings now too.
Because my mind went to, oh snap, Buddy was doing Aaliyah, Rhea's doing Dom. Oh my God, that's so gross. Stop it! We're off the rails. Who won?
Well, I mean, if we're gonna go off the rails here, I'll just say, if a couple wants to do open relationship stuff, that's fine. Don't pick a pair of siblings. That's no.
I don't want to.
Vince loves incest. What are you talking about?
Oh my God!
You're not helping the case.
There's been a
Because
long
Vince
history of incestual stories in WWE.
See,
Vince will beat
right
his
here.
charges
This is
just
why
to make
people.
the storyline.
This is why when you tell people you're a pro wrestling fan, they side eye you. This right
Oh
here.
my gosh!
This right here.
Vince will beat his charges.
But to be fair, Vince did want to act like he was his granddaughter's father. So,
Mm-hmm.
and the whole storyline of, Daddy, did you marry Mommy while she really was drugged? No, you were just dating another woman, and then you cheated on her with Mommy, and she found out on TV. Yeah. So moving on, our 2022 breakout star of the year is Willow Nightingale. Yay, Willow! Yay!
Hello!
Blue, you got an award. Your baby daddy got an award. Yay! Yay, Blue! Yay! Mr. Willow, yay! Well, Mr. Nightingale, yay!
This is a big ball of happiness.
That was a tough
That's what you
decision.
win, Miss Willow. The coveted Horsie.
That was really tough.
It
That was.
was. Breakout star of the year and the Roman Reigns MJF thing were the two hardest things to decide today, because it's like there's so many people. But because it is after 12 midnight here, and because I actually have to live a life later, um, and I
Uh,
want to have massive amounts of caffeine, what do you guys have before we transition to this last part?
well, I was gonna say we still got clown of the week.
It's a repeat clown of the week. Y'all can stay right on here because it's not gonna be that long. It's Vince Russo. Vince Russo, you're stupid. Jump off a cliff, don't have a parachute. If we could bring somebody back, we would. If it cost us you, we would gladly take the trade. Vince Russo, you are stupid. You are an idiot. Please go away and shut the fuck up forever. So, anyone, the whole look, I'm not a fan of Seth Rollins, but to say Seth Rollins is a good hand and there's nothing special about Seth Rollins,
You dumb. You playing yourself.
I
Anybody
always
that knows,
go.
go ahead.
you can't fix stupid. That's all I can say. You can fix simple. You can fix
Anyone that's
it.
been watching wrestling for
Fix
any amount of time knows
stupid.
Vince Russo is a piece of shit and knows nothing about wrestling, doesn't care about wrestling, and every wrestling idea he's ever had has been horrible. So you're preaching
SummerSlam,
to the choir. I mean, everybody knows that, except Russo.
SummerSlam 2019. Seth Rollins versus Brock Lesnar. Seth Rollins went into that ring with the entire crowd booing him. By the end of that match, everybody was on their feet cheering him.
I
I
don't.
only
That
cheer
is
for
a
Brock, so
feat that not many wrestlers can do.
Look,
I wasn't cheering Brock, so I wasn't one of the people.
I, I tried. I wasn't gonna do clown of the week. I was gonna be all peaceful and hunky dory, like life is good. Then I was like, oh, nobody said anything stupid in wrestling. Refresh my Twitter.
Just now?
So,
Yep. Eh.
stupid. You can't fix stupid. All right, so because we are wrapping things up and trying to make sure that we don't, go ridiculously over time. Um, what's up?
Deadline.
Not tonight. Not
Rampage.
just
We will
tonight.
do that rampage.
We'll do that Friday. We'll do that Friday.
We're not doing that right now.
Yeah,
We're not doing
Yeah.
no rampage.
no.
Uh-uh.
I don't even know the matches, and they're gonna add another match or two. We're better off to wait to Friday.
So that's Saturday.
Yes.
And isn't there another pay-per-view on Saturday too?
ROH.
Yeah, they're both on Saturday.
Oh, isn't one earlier than the other?
Yes, they're not at the same time. ROH is before Deadline.
So there's a possibility there may be a watch along with that.
Yeah, if there's going to be two pay-per-views. Shit.
We'll see. Who knows? We just might live tweet it. We'll see. Watch our socials. We'll let you know there.
Ask us on Friday.
We might flip
Definitely on Friday. We'll have an answer.
All right. So on Friday, you'll be able to catch us live at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 9 p.m. Central Standard, 7 p.m. Pacific for our live Rampage watch along. I'm going to go ahead and say it so you people will not get confused. We are not showing you the screen because we don't have that money for the lawyers. Subscribe and tell your friends. And once we get monetized, we might have money for that. And also, recording on Friday will be ALWNI's Under the Radar. If you haven't already, please take the opportunity to watch Under the Radar. We actually did a pretty good job. I edited it. Let me know how that worked out for you guys. We're going to keep it to about 30 minutes. Push ourselves for that. Yeah. And that will be premiering sometime. Again, pay attention to the socials. We are on Facebook. You are watching us mainly on YouTube. We also are on Twitter. We're going to get better about tweeting and stuff and being nice to people as that comes out. So please follow, interact with us, talk to us, drop your comments, your likes, subscribe, share us out. Tell us what you want to hear. Tell us who you would give Breakout Star of the Year to. who would you say?
Austin Theory. Sorry.
Make
My
sure
bad.
you're not smoking crack when you're saying that. Tell us who you think is better between MJF and Roman. Tell us who
Austin
you think
Theory.
in the top man. I said MJF and Roman. Tell us who can be the top mid Carter of 2022. Come on in. Tell us your favorite musical. Tell us your favorite music. Interact with us. We're generally nice people, except for ALW because he's on that stuff. But from all of us here at Workhorse Wrestling Network, we are saying good morning to us on Eastern Standard Time. Good evening to everyone else, and we will see you Friday. Bye, y'all.
Bye.
NXT was actually pretty good tonight.
Really?